I hope they fall on you, McKenna. So does she.
Hey guys, so it is December 15th, which means it is 10 days till Christmas. And today was honestly kind of a crazy day, and rather than like talking about it, because I feel like a lot of my videos recently have been like about bad things that have happened, like my burns and then like everything. I don't know, a lot of my videos have just been kind of like gloomy, and I don't want to be like, oh look, it's Lizzie, I have such a bad life. Instead, I'm just gonna like ignore the bad things that happen a little bit, unless you guys want to hear it, and then just like tell me, I guess. I don't know, I just don't want to talk about it all the time if nobody wants to hear it. I don't want to be like complainy. Since I'm alone right now in Alan's house, it kind of like brought about the idea to continue my video from last time, kind of, and kind of explain like why I'm afraid of the dark and like basements and that kind of stuff, because that's what my last video was all about. Basically I'm just gonna go over a few like unexplainable kind of things that have happened in my family house to kind of like reinforce my fear of the dark and of basements. And you get it, you get what I'm gonna talk about, and I'm just gonna do it. Okay, so I'm like literally editing this right now, but I looked back on me telling these stories and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, this happened and then this. So I am going to refilm it anyway. So the first story happened when I was 3 years old and I had just moved into the house. And around the same time my grandmother had died, and like, I know what you're already thinking, like, I wouldn't say I believe in ghosts per se, but like there's stuff that happens in the world and I can't explain it, so there has to be something. But anyway, so we had just moved into the house and we had people over for whatever. They were just there to see the house that we had just got, and it was all family, whatever. So I had to use the restroom, and I didn't know where it was, whatever, but at the same time I was kind of independent, so I didn't want my parents to like be in there with me. So my parents walked me to the restroom and they were like, don't lock the door, don't lock the door. And I was like, okay, so whatever, and I just used the restroom, right? Well, my parents go back to the living room, and a lot of this stuff I don't particularly know myself because I was literally fucking 3 years old. I was a fetus. And so a lot of this is from what my parents say or like what my aunts and stuff say. And anyway, so they're back in the living room and I'm doing my thing. Next thing they know is they hear the door shut all the way and then they hear it lock. And they're like, oh my god, I told her not to do that. So they come running to the bathroom and they're like, Lizzie, open the freaking door, you idiot. And then they see the light turn off. And what? I'm a little child. I can't turn off the light. So anyway, they are banging on the door and they're like, Lizzie, let us in, please, please. And they're freaking out and they're talking about taking the door off the hinges because it was one of the doors where you can only lock it from the inside and you can't unlock it from the outside, whatever, blah, whatever. So anyway, I don't remember a lot from all of this happening, but I do remember this little part where it was dark in there and I was getting freaked out because my parents were yelling and I couldn't get the door unlocked. So I like ran into the bathtub or near the bathtub, I don't know. I just ran on the opposite side of the room from the door. That's all I know. And then apparently right when I did that, it was about the same time that they had like a hammer or whatever and they were going to take the door off the hinges. And the door unlocks. The freaking door unlocks. And as soon as it unlocked, my mom ripped the door open and I was all the way across the room in the dark. Hello. I was a toddler with little toddler legs. How am I going? That didn't happen. Anyway, so yeah. Somehow the door locked and then unlocked with me all the way across the room. It just Like, I get it, maybe I was the one that locked the door. I don't know. I was a toddler. I was independent. I wanted to be in there by myself. But for me to be able to go all the way across the room after unlocking it, I highly doubt that. And I definitely highly doubt my turning off the lights. Okay, so the second thing that happened inside this house was terrifying. This is even worse than the first one because I was in high school and this is something I remember completely like it was yesterday, and it happened in the basement, and it's just, I can't explain this one at all. Like, I literally have no idea. So at this point I was living in the basement, and I was, like I said, I was in high school. During high school, I was one of the busiest people I think I knew. I got to school around 6 in the morning, or at least I had to leave the house around 6 in the morning. And then I was at school all day, and then I was at, like, I had extracurricular activities until 6 p.m. So here I am. I'm exhausted, and I have to study after school. I have to eat after school. Like, I have to have a life. But, so, this was one of the nights really close to finals time. And I was taking AP History, which was one of the hardest classes I've ever taken in my life. And, thanks, Mr. Fleege. Anyway, so, I was staying up super late because I needed to study, like, every night. And it wasn't uncommon for me to fall asleep while I was studying with the light on. And my parents were, like, harping on me to, like, keep the light off. But whatever. At this point, I didn't really care. I just left it on anyway because I was already afraid of basements, and I was living in the basement, and I was afraid of the dark. So whatever. I was doing what I wanted to do. I live life. So anyway, this was one of the nights where I fell asleep while studying. Normal, whatever. What wasn't normal, I wake up in the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. Most of the time whenever I fell asleep studying, it was because I was so exhausted that I would just sleep until I got up for my alarm. So it was kind of weird that I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but like, not the weirdest thing that has ever happened in my life. Anyway, so I get up, well, like, I wake up, and I look at my, like, study stuff, and I'm like, ugh, like, I still need to study, but, like, I'll do it tomorrow. And, like, I look at my iPad or whatever, and I, like, kind of wake up a little bit, but I don't know. I don't even know what I was doing. I was just so awake for it being whatever. It was just weird. It was the middle of the night, and I was just randomly awake. And then I realized that the lights are on, and since I'm going to put off studying till the next day, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to turn off the light and go to sleep. Which, that was really weird, because I didn't care that the light was, like, I'm used to sleeping with the light on because I'm terrified of the dark and I'm terrified of basements. So for me to actually get up out of bed to go turn off the lights and then get back into bed while it was dark down there is kind of weird. Like, I sound like a sissy-ass bitch, but, like, you know. So I get up and I go turn off the lights. And then normally I would just, like, run and jump in bed, but, like, for some reason I was, like, totally calm, which was weird. And I started walking to my bed. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground. I don't know how I got there, but I'm just laying flat on the ground, like, chill, whatever, it's still dark, and I just fall asleep there. I don't freak out, I don't do anything. I don't know. I wasn't scared that I was on the ground, but, like, it registered with me that I was on the ground, right? So then, next thing I know, it felt really quick, and I was still on the ground, but the lights were on. The lights were on. Chill. Yeah. So, at this point, I'm a little panicky, which is a normal response. I'm on the freaking ground for no reason. And I don't remember falling. I don't remember anything. I didn't have any bumps or bruises or anything. I was just on the ground. And so with the light on, I crawl back into bed, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Who knows what happened? And the lights are back on, so whatever. Yeah, that was cool. And I got in bed, and I got under the covers, and I went to sleep. I went to sleep after falling for no reason. There was nothing for me to fall on because I had just cleaned my room. There was nothing on the floor. I don't even have a rug. So I was just like flat on the ground. Totally chill. I honestly have like probably 10 more stories just from creepy stuff that happened in that house. I have plenty more creepy stories that happened in other houses. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at the 2 for this video because I don't want to make this video a million years long, because I feel like I've also been making kind of longish videos and I don't want to bore you guys. Honestly, I don't think anybody wants to hear me talk, but yeah, it's just fun to tell those stories. If you want to hear more, I guess leave a comment or something. Like it. Like and subscribe. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Bye.
Ooh. The sound of the two liquids hitting each other. It's a nice little slappy sound.